Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing the full exploration guide for chapter 2.2 of Variant 5, Blood and Venom. If you're looking for a guide on one of the other chapters, make sure to check our playlist on the channel. We're going to go over the toughest fights, my MVPs, and of course other options for those toughest fights. Just to get straight to the point, it's Longshot. There's a couple fights in there I'm not sure he can do, or at least not that well, but he is a beast throughout this whole chapter, and I'm going to show you how and why. Make sure to hit like and subscribe so you catch all of the future content. With that being said, let's get to the show. Alright, we're going to start off with kind of a cheese fight here from Lane 1. Lane 1 and Lane 2 have the same buffs. It's adaptive, physical, and energy resist, with the recharge node, which is you generate power through blocking. They're not that difficult of nodes. The fights are not that difficult. If you're at the point where you're taking on this content, Variant 5, then I believe you're probably going to have some answers in your roster, and your skills are at the point where you're not going to struggle too much with Lane 1 or Lane 2. They're definitely the lanes to pick for the initial clear if you're looking to just kind of get through it, or you're hoping to just kind of clear the whole variant and then come back and explore it later. These are the two, and you see how easy Sorcerer can make this, and I'm sure other champions can do the exact same thing. There are a few pretty difficult fights, and one very difficult fight, the Fury on Lane 5 in this chapter, and we will show two options for that, two solos for that fight, and talk about a couple other options. But this was funny. It was fun to use Sorcerer this way, and I just wanted to show it to you, so you could see an option and kind of have that knowledge going in for Lane 1 and Lane 2, and then we're just going to skip directly to Lane 3, which is Bleed Vulnerability, Aspect of Evolution, and there is a Nightcrawler on that lane, but you can stun him. You can stun him. He's not too bad. He's not too bad. You can stun him, so if you want to, you can try to switch him. If you're worried about the evade, you could obviously use Sorcerer herself, as we talked about in a previous video from this weekend. I'll link that in case you haven't seen it. It's a great video, I think, and it really opened my eyes on Sorcerer. So, but we'll show Simsup how Simsup can dominate a couple lanes in this variant. Quite a few of them actually, but you see how quickly Simsup's going to handle the Angela at the end of Lane 3. And this, like I said, I'll try to stop repeating it. I didn't find this chapter to be overly challenging in comparison to 1.1 and 1.2. I think those were much more difficult as a whole than 2.1 or 2.2, except for the Fury fight, which we will show. That's a tough one. I think that's a real tough one. And I think that's one of those ones where, if you don't get the solo, that's okay. Maybe you're willing to sacrifice 2 or 3 champs to get through it. But we've thrown our SP3 with Simsup, which usually means if they can bleed and they've got buffs, this fight is over. So, in fact, if anything, I'm just trying to control the Mystic Dispersion and power gain there. We got it done. The fight's done in 34 hits. This fight was a bit challenging. This is Lane 4. There is an Arc Overload Sinister, right? So Sinister can be a bit of a challenge. I haven't heard too many people struggling with him, at least not too badly. No one's publicly saying it in the chats I'm in. But, he can be difficult. He can be a challenge, but I'm sure you can whittle him down with quite a few of the Mystics, take care of the Arc Overload, of course. But I wanted to start introducing Longshot. We did our first tier rankings. I'll show that to you too. I think we got a lot of positive feedback on it. I think people enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed it a lot. And one of the things I really enjoyed was the comments in the sections afterward. And Longshot was by far the most popular pushback I received. The most popular for people saying, I really think you have him in the wrong tier. I think he needs to be moved up. And I take that stuff. I take that stuff, and I want to learn. I've learned a lot from the comment section so far. I think it's only like a month and a half or 2 months, and so I decided to try to use him as much as I could, and boy did I pick the right chapter to use him in. He dominates. He absolutely dominates, and I can't wait to show you a couple other fights. I haven't seen anyone use him in some of the fights where you're going to see. So you see what he's doing here, and he's doing great against this Mr. Sinister. I'm still relatively new at playing him, so I'm just doing the parry, heavy charge, rinse and repeat here. And you know, I'm at 81% health and he's at 28, so I'm pretty happy with the results. I will also say this has made me really want to learn to play Longshot a little bit better. I've been watching KTU. I've seen that review he did probably 3 times now, trying to make sure I get it all and absorb the details. It's good stuff. But because it's Sinister, this fight takes a little while. But Longshot's about to finish it off for us. And we will move on to lane 5. And lane 5 is where the toughest fights are. It's power shield, burden of might, and power efficiency. So you know, I wanted to do what I could to not get dexterity on me, and if I did, and you'll see this a few times, if I was at a point where I could throw a special and I was concerned about losing all my power, I would try to intercept with the special. We're going to start off the lane just to show you what Longshot can do to this lane. Poor Dr. Voodoo. He didn't stand a chance. And here it comes. I love it. I think Longshot's my style of champion too. This guy's really growing on me. I can't thank you all enough for the comment section. So we're going to be looking at this fight with Fury, right? So we've gone over its power shield, burden of might, and power efficiency. So, well, I mean, you see what they are there, and you see what to look out for. So some good options for this fighter is definitely Doom, definitely Magic, and then you're going to see our friend of the channel, Strands, take him down with the ManThing. This is Duke's fight here. I took him down too. I soloed him, and I'm holding on to that video. It's going to be part of another video we're going to put out that's going to be a bit of a showcase for a champion that I think we're all pretty excited to finally get out there. I've been slowly playing him, getting to know him better. But you see what Duke's doing here. He's trying his best to control the power, and he's playing Doom's game and trying to just control the fight like Doom obviously can. It looks like he does have suicides on. I think he had brought in the Simsup synergy, which gives Doom the chance to shrug the damaging debuffs whenever he activates his aura. And so fortunately that kicked in. And he's pushed Fury to the 3 bars of power, but he's going to do the Doom cycle here. And that's working out, you know, quite well. The unblockable is going to hurt, and that's just going to happen. And that's what I was saying. You might even want to be willing to sacrifice a champion or two here to this fight. But one of the things I love about Doom is how tanky he is. So he has plenty of life, and the damage wasn't too bad. So he's going to be able to finish this off, and the fight is done. So that's a real option there for you. You want to control the power. That's why Magic also works, right? It's controlling the power of Fury. And then Strands had gone in. And one of the things he's pointed out, and I do agree with him, one of the reasons this works and why ManThing can work is ManThing is similar to Voodoo in that he creates his own buffs on the defender for him to then nullify and gain power from, right? So you're going to want to make sure you have Mystic Dispersion to do this. And he's throwing the SP1, and that applies the, I think they're called pustules. And then you use your heavy, which applies to the armor break, and the poison, which obviously Fury is not immune to, the SP1 again, to apply the pustules. And now he's applied some more. You want to be careful in this fight, right? That they don't use all of their power when they throw their special. It's the reduced cost. So you see that happen right there. He threw the SP2, but he had an SP1 ready to go. So make sure you're not just diving right in. Yeah, that's going to catch you. They're going to catch you with a secondary special there. And this is just standard strands, right? Like no one is better when his back's against the wall. So, Fury is unblockable here, and I happen to know Strands is going to pull this out. It's just the guy's, he's got that clutch gene, I think. I've seen this from him so many times. So now he's not going to be able to stun Fury because Fury's in the second phase. And you see that when he evades the special, when he Strands evades the special, and then loses Dex, he's getting power drained, which is what we've talked about with this node, with this node for the defenders, and that becomes a real problem. But that's why a ManThing can work, is he is applying buffs to Fury that ManThing can then nullify to gain power. He's got the 2 bars of power, and then he intercepts with the SP2. So that's what we had talked about, right? Is if you have the dexterity on you, and you know that as soon as you hit the champion, you're going to lose it. And as soon as you hit the defender, you're going to lose it. One of the things you can do if you're feeling confident is just intercept with your special. I believe we're going to see that here in this fight, if I remember correctly. I did like 3 or 4 versions of this fight, and I picked what I believe to be the best one. So all the buffs we've talked about from the chapter are now on this storm, and it's just going to work out exceptionally well for Longshot. She's going to keep gaining those resists, which will allow us to be gaining power and apply the damage when he has his Fate Seal on. And I was shocked. I was shocked at how this went. Every time I've heard options for this boss, I have never heard Longshot mentioned. It's always been Simsup or I believe Spark, and I think some people have used Doom, and they work very well. But I thought it'd be fun to see Longshot. I was so impressed with this guy and his damage. And you see we've got the Fate Seal on now. And like I said, I'm still learning to play this guy, so I'm sure I made mistakes in the rotation here. But I think that's the point. That's the point, is how much damage he can piece out, how much damage he can get out. I mean, this node has bleed vulnerability, right? So a champion like Simsup should just be destroying it, and I'm sure he does. But, we're 30 hits in, and I don't even fully know what I'm doing, and look how much damage he's done. And, my advice would be is to avoid dexing as much as you can. She does hit very hard, so there were some times where I chose to dex, and I probably could have used SP1 a little bit better with that doing bleed damage. But I think getting this fight done in under 50 hits this quickly and having a great time to do it, that's what this is all about. It's a game. We had a lot of fun. If you have any questions or comments or other champions that could be used, please definitely know. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow on Twitter at VegaGaming583. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.